Welcome to Twin Visions with myself, Hakeem, Jamal, my twin brother Jamal, and also my father, Abdullahi. Yeah, and so first of all, just give a bit of backstory on where we grew up and where we grew up, why we started the channel, and what the aim of the channel is. Because really, it's like we grew up in Peckham, which is the inner city part of London. Many trials and tribulations, and we've made that transition from the roads to trades. And it's more like highlighting our journey to educate the younger youth and to avoid people making them mistakes, and also people to make that transition. Yeah, and also obviously our life went a certain way when we was younger till early adulthood,
a big chunk of our younger.
And obviously the aim is for people from similar environments not to go down the same path we went down, and to kind of not waste years of their life pursuing something that is a waste of time.
Yeah, that could be detrimental.
And really, just to say, because obviously, as your father, I was quite intentional about how I wanted you to grow up.
Yeah.
And a big part of that was that being in Peckham, being from Peckham, I was determined to ensure that you were not going to be victims.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I wasn't shy to, in a way, not push you, but allow you to be exposed to how things actually are in that part of the world. Because I didn't know if we would ever leave Peckham. So as I say, what I was determined to ensure was that you were not victims. But that also that you had some cultural groundings.
Of course.
So that you understood something of what we're coming from historically, and hopefully that would then also ensure that you were strong within the environment, but then also had some idea on the fact that we have a destiny. And so that was a big thing for me, a massive thing.
You mean in regards to the history, like, of black people and obviously we learned about Malcolm X. We learned about everyone really from a young age, innit? Which was sometimes the wonder we used to get all that knowledge from, because he taught us a lot of stuff,
But obviously as well, without no struggle, there's no strength in it. So obviously it's good to be exposed to certain things and to kind of get through it and to build its character forming in it.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think obviously in that area you can be exposed to more than you anticipate.
Definitely.
Do you understand what I mean?
Exposed to a lot. And it's only as you get older and coming out of it, you realise how much you was exposed to.
But not only that as well, I think no, but you know what it is as well, I think with the generation, different things happen. So I think with your generation, that let's be honest, you lot dilly-dallied, you lot dabbled, but then you lot cut when it kind of got to that crunch time. Like obviously everyone kind of went through whatever, and then you lot kind of pivoted at the right time. Where I think our generation got lost in the sauce, innit? So we didn't pivot. We kind of just went.
You made the transaction to get jobs and
So we made that switch, and I think also we made it earlier because we had children earlier.
That's what it is.
Yes. So remember, I was 16 when you were conceived,
and we was in prison when we were 16.
So as we get older, I realise. You look back, mum and dad was 16 of us,
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You kind of understand the situation of what it was like, or what it must be like for you two.
Well, you see, so as you say, so we pivoted earlier, so we didn't go in deep.
But you went in deep. You went in deep enough. Because if you had to go away, then it's deep enough. But we didn't know when to. You look kind of like you lot had children, and you lot realised, all right, boom, we need to pivot. Where we saw that as our career. Do you understand what I mean?
That's what we saw in it. We didn't see no other. It was just that.
And as well.
Hence why we're talking about it now, innit? Because we just dived in, didn't look for no exit plan out of it. It's only now
The exit plan was to make it, bro.
Exactly.
That was the exit plan. Do it till it. You don't ain't got to do it no more. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And that also, because that's what unnerved me. So at a certain point I thought, damn, this thing's so much deeper than what we went through. And so then I got shook. Because I'm thinking, bloody hell, is there a way out of this? Because you lot went hard. Hard.
Because I don't know if you remember one time, Dad, I think I'd been home a little bit, but you just come home from your little something, or not, at the time it weren't. And you took me McDonald's on OK Road. Do you remember that? And I think that's when you realise, okay, you're not going too far now. Do you understand what I mean? And you're like, listen, your brother's coming home. What you doing with yourself? Like, where we going? Like, you need to kind of. It's time to. I knew you lot was gonna think, but I didn't. I thought you lot would know when to stop. And I remember thinking, Dad, come on, man. This is me now. Do you understand what I mean?
No.
Yeah, definitely.
That was the thing, and that was a moment, because then I thought, okay. Because the one thing I can say, and we were talking about it today with Sharifa, I can say, hand on heart, you never lied to me. So as much as it was hard, I knew where it was at. But that was hard. That was hard.
I can remember times when I was out, even like 15, like probably 14, 15, and I'll see Thompson and that on the road, and they'll pull and go, yeah, but you are worse than us. And that's when I think, what? I thought you lot were just, do you understand what I'm saying? So, kind of made me think, you know. So it's that kind of, I'm guessing it's that pivot, because you lot have pivoted, and you've pivoted in a really meaningful way, but also you carry much more detailed experience of what it's like now. And that's quite a thing, because people are commenting on, boy, have you seen Twin and what they're doing, and we really like it and that. But like that pivot, and then to get to a point where you want to share some of your stories, I find that quite. I can say I'm intensely proud.
But I think, you know what it is, Dad? I think for me, you have to think of the next generation now, and I think, and especially us as a people, a culture, too much of us are going through that. And then it's like, you don't want the next generation car. Why do we have to get to, not have to, but we to our mid-30s and say, boy, we need to change, where we need to make sure that the younger generation don't make them mistakes and don't waste their life. Cause we want, and even as a culture, I feel like as a culture, we need to be more productive now.
Yeah, of course.
We need to be more progressive. Like we got like young men who are at their prime, sitting in jail, doing nothing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, you see the potential in it. You know, like when I look at my peers, you know, and some that probably that ain't here and some that, you know, and I'm thinking, boy, they could have went so far, especially with where I'm at now. I'm thinking, but look, we just threw it all away on the wrong thing that we thought. Like you almost think that you're above. Your bubble, your circle is really running things. Do you know what I'm saying? It's only when you come out of it, then the obstacles you start to face in the legal world. Think, right, we're not the enemy, you know. Do you know, we're not. We need to fix up, and realise and address the issues to get in the real world where it really makes a difference.
But not only that, even as well. So, like for example, let's say construction. You see how so. I was part of a firm last year, and I see how they bring theirs along.
100%.
So, and we ain't got that in that position. So I see how there's man I'm working with, and it's their company, and they're subbing and work off their dad's friend who owns a company. Do you understand what I mean? And then one of their friends' dads owns a company that provides the materials. Do you understand what I mean? And they're just getting carried through where we need to be doing that we need to be putting our energy into the right places, and also even like the generational thing as well. So that when you lot was younger, you lot putting yourself in a position to get in a trouble like a little 18 months there or 12 months there, then we come along and start putting ourselves in to get 6 years here and 5 years there. Now these young youths are putting themselves in to get 30 years there and 20 years there. You understand what I mean? So it's getting worse. So we need to be, to me, we need to be making it where we got people in our generation saying, yeah, come, you can sub off that work there, or you can. We need to be helping each other along, not. I'm on construction site and I'm seeing one man them there, one man them there. Everyone's just by themselves, kind of just trying to cut through. We're not collective, bringing each other in and subbing each other. You know, so we need to. But if the younger generation are getting into these trades and getting into these industries from young, they can work their way up. You understand what I mean? It's happening slowly, but still there's that negative influence in our culture that needs to be addressed.
Exactly, and people, it's almost cool to have that negative influence or that negative attitude. Do you know what I'm saying? People go, like the wrong and strong. You understand what I'm saying? People just call it when it's not cool. If there's going to be any real progression, it's not cool. Do you know? And people, that's what we need to change in our society or in our community. You know? And even for me, like, there's certain things that after you do
keep going.
After I done 2 years, you realise certain things, you know, and I was, even though I still came out and done, but I still realised certain things about my surroundings, you know, not all your peers are your brethren, you know, certain things, so when you come out, you can kind of adjust that, but some of these young boys, if you're getting 30, when they're realising they're after 2-3 years, it's too late and they're going to realise.
Let me get you, and that's
I mean, for my brethren, that ain't even for my. You understand? They realise that not everyone is true. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's what happens because you know when you're in them places, after like for me, like after a year, you realise, hold on, why did I put myself in this position? But we gave ourselves a chance. At the time, we didn't think it. We were thinking, but this is a hell of a time.
And it was time to reflect as well.
But now there's no turning back. So once by the time there's people where they think, boy, I can do things different. There's no chance to do nothing different.
Exactly. You're giving up all your time.
Exactly. It's just done now.
And you're in there. Imagine being in there, bro, full of energy, full of beans, and what you're doing. What can you do with it? What can you do? You can't do nothing. You're wrapped up now. You're in somewhere you can't go nowhere. You're restricted. Like you could have all this potential that you just can't fulfill. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. And even when you say about bringing people through, because even companies I work for, and I see they're bringing the youth through at say 18, and this is youth that if they could have easily went the wrong way. They've got it in them, but they bring them on from early, as take the time, train and bring them in, which enough of these youths are on roads. They could be, you understand what I'm saying? Because it's not hard, especially at that age, you understand? And that's how their thing is set. They just bring the youths in straight away, roll over man, learn the thing, take the time, get 12 grand, 15 grand a year. You're nice, but then just work it up. And that's what we're missing. You understand?
So what you're saying is, so we need people to be thinking about actually creating firms within those different trades.
So that's what we've always talked about. You see, like at school, that option should be there from early to get into trades. But
the only thing is, so that's the goal. So you want everyone that the man them, like even for us, we can't be just our end game. We're not happy to just be working for someone. That's the aim, but it's not about just waiting for that. It starts today. So it starts like if there's a man who's got young children, you need to be a positive role model and pushing them into the trades. So don't just, because there's man who might phone and say, Twin, bring me on the plumbing side, go college first, bro. You have to go college. Don't just wait for me to say to you, boom, can you start tomorrow? Go and learn.
It's not a bad thing that people reach out. A lot of people I just say, what can I just jump on? But you need to go through the training.
Well, if you're the model, let's say that you set an example, right? So that it's actually right. How do you encourage people to say, go and at least get some basic skills?
That's what it is.
At least some basic skills, so that you can offer something on a site.
Exactly. That's what it is. You have to have the big, that you can't just think, okay, if Twin can't get me on something tomorrow, then I'm just not going to do it. You understand?
So if I'm not getting top dollars,
this is the other thing, isn't it?
Well, that's what it is. Because again, like people just want money. If it's not the money, it's not adding up straight away. But the reality of it is that it's bigger than. You got to be paid. You got to make sacrifices for everything, and that's what people don't want to make sacrifices, even when they get to a certain age. But the reality of it is, anything worth happening, you got to make sacrifice. But don't get me wrong, there's people that can, like, there's some people that have got ability to pivot and kind of they can network and whatever, but you got to know your capabilities, bro. Like, so you know, if you're not a networker, then you just got to hit it from the ground up. You got to start from scratch and make that sacrifice. Do you know what I mean?
And that's, you see, that's the thing. I'm guessing that the message that you're really putting out there is that people have to, when you say this thing, your nose might have to run for a while. Yeah. And one of the biggest worries, as sort of like we were watching Unna grow up, is that because of the amount of money on the road, it's like, how are you ever going to walk away from that kind of...
Yeah, we was talking about that other day, innit? It almost spoils you, innit?
Yeah.
It ruins you,
you know, because people say, yeah, you can just be electrician or gas engineer or plumber and make certain amounts of $2,000 a week or $5,000 a week, whatever. But coming from the road, when you think about, hold on, I've got to do this, that to make that money. Come on. Coming home at 9 o'clock, crawling. It's a mad thing. To make a grand.
So it messes up your how you think about money, because even so that, remember, back to that conversation at OK Road McDonald's in 1997. So remember, you told me to go and work with my man, bro.
Yeah.
And I remember, so them time now, I've seen money. So you're telling me to come and be a builder, to climb up, sir, carry this, mash up my hand. I done it for 2 days and it weren't working for me. It weren't adding up. 70 squid.
I didn't think it was 2 days. I thought it was like you went there and left.
70 quid. That's weed money. Like 70 quid. I can't even buy an Air Max 110.
That's the thing that you got to learn to work with that now. If I give you £100 or something.
I don't even think I finished the second day. I remember just phoning, because we was in Campbell, on the job in Campbell. I remember phoning the man and saying, they phoned to go up, boom, they're going to do a move, rare. They're like, come and get me. And then we started to come and get me now, bro. And the irony of it is, we got nicked that day, bro.
Boom.
We got nicked that day, bro.
Boom.
Do you understand what I mean? That is the maddest thing about it, bro.
But that's the thing, so...
But we got Bell. But we got back out there. But then I still got conviction anyway, but yeah. That was deep times though.
They were deep times. They were deep times. Like, it's like the thing just exploded. And I'm just watching and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like this is just rapid. I remember the man, because even from school, one black Fed, he came to the house one day and he said, I've had to talk to your boys on the train at the school, and look, they look like they could be decent kids, but you got to teach them they can't be wrong and strong. Right? He was so...
Is that PC done?
He was just...
Yeah,
the thing was wild.
It was out of control, man.
And yet still, it was out of control, and look where we are now.
No, definitely. But like I said, I think he did instill something in us, innit, you know?
Well, I'm hoping so. But also, you know, the other side of it as well is that everybody is hoping that their children will be able to express the best of their potential, and also to a lesser degree also be a continuation of the lineage, because, you know, I will always reflect back to your grandfather and say, right, well, he did a certain foundational thing.
Dad, I just want to cut you there. Just so, one thing you got to remember though, Dad, you implemented enough in us. Because the amount of trouble we could, even though we got in a lot of trouble,
I think
it could have been worse.
I think,
and also we've always had, obviously, because we come from a religious household, we've always had a moral high ground over, not even over our friends, but there's things that we've always had in us that a lot of people around us didn't have.
And I think that was that the community?
Well, that was
Dad, but also what he brought us around, you know, like I said, the prayer, the mosque.
And even we weren't as...
And you used to make us read at home, used to teach us stuff, you know.
And as well, we weren't as loose-eyed as everyone else, because we still had to be at home at a certain time, and we still had to be at the masjid certain days and doing dhikrs on a Saturday when everyone else is out raving and all them something there. So
you made your presence with our friends also, innit?
I remember that,
yeah. Sorry to cut you down. Yeah.
No, cool. A lot. Yeah. So I'm guessing that's something of our backdrop, isn't it?